is in every kindness. It's not for nothing that the Dalai Lama says, my only religion is kindness. Years ago, I had a homie named Curtis come into my office. He had been released the day before from prison. African-American gang member, had just done 20 years. And I was so struck just meeting him for the very first time how kind and gentle he was. I mean, it was just kind of startling. And so I'm asking him questions. I say, are you on parole? And he says, yes. And I said, are you on high control parole? And he nodded yes. I said, I hope you don't mind me asking you this question. How does somebody as so kind and gentle as you end up on high control parole? And he looked at me meekly and he said, rough childhood? Which made me laugh. He was telling me that his mother was a prostitute and a drug addict, and that his father was gunned down in the streets when he was 9 years old. And immediately after the funeral, the mother rented a tiny little apartment, and she deposited Curtis at 9 years old and his two younger brothers in this apartment. Then she stood in the doorway and she waved at them. And then she closed the door. And he tells me that he never saw her again, ever. Every early evening he would go and with his two brothers, and they'd sit on neighbors' houses, a different house every evening, until the people who lived there would inquire as to what the hell they're doing there. And he'd say, we ain't leaving till you feed us. And so we ended our conversation, and we both stood and shook hands. And he said to me, I have decided to be loving and kind in the world, and now I'm just hoping the world returns the favor. All of us in this room gathered here because we know that kindness is the only strength there is. Dorothy Day used to say, so you want to be a saint? Be kind, be kind, be kind. I knew a kid years ago named Mondo, who just the kindest soul. Again, sort of startlingly kind and gentle. Once we were on the phone, and I was just so overwhelmed with how he was and his manner that I kind of stopped the phone conversation. I said, Mando, ¿sabes qué? La neta, it is a privilege to be speaking to you right now. And he says, you? Me? I'm on one knee, he says. And he wasn't even a little bit sarcastic. So one evening, years ago, I was riding my bike in the projects, patrolling, and it was Pico Gardens and housing projects. I was on 5th Street. And I noticed that there were no gang members out there. Usually they were selling crack, and there were always lots of them there, but the cops must have just shown up. So, and I turn over to the left, and I see Mondo sitting on a stoop by himself. So I ride up to him, straddling my beach cruiser. I say, Mondo, what are you doing out here? And he says, oh, I'm praying. In fact, right now I ask God, give me a sign that you are as great as I think you are. Then you drove up. Proof. And we all want to be seized by a tenderness that elevates us to the very largeness of God. About 2 weeks ago, I'm in my office, and some of you were there last night to see my office has this sort of all glass, and I can see out to the reception area. And so I had about 4 donors trying to get them to invest in Homeboy, you know. And so I was talking to them, and then my eyes look up, and I see a homie has come into the office. A gang member, I don't know who he is, you know, but I can see he's kind of erratic, and he has a soda can, and he seems to be punctuating every conversation he's having with people at the reception desk, and soda leaps out of the can and falls on the ground, so I think I'm going to have to intervene. So I start to get up when all of a sudden I see Miguel, the head of our security, walks over. he escorts the guy outside with his arm around him. Miguel spent 18 years in prison. If you meet him, it will be obvious to you that kindness is his religion. So he stands with this guy, as he tells me later, in front of the office, and the guy lifts his shirt and he has a gun tucked into the front of his pants. And Miguel looks at him and he says, "How about you and me, we walk down to Placito Vera and I'll buy you some tacos." And the guy lifts his shirt again. He says, "How about I put a bullet in your head?" And Miguel looks at him and says, "2 tacos or 3? And he convinces the guy to walk down the street, and he tells me that the guy is having a conversation with the voices in his head, but the voices aren't staying in his head, they're leaping out of his mouth like a bunch of frogs. "Shoot his ass." "No, he's okay. You can't trust him. He's buying me tacos." Like that all the way down to the Placito. So Miguel buys him 3 tacos. He takes the first taco and he throws it to the ground, no doubt feeding the voice in his head. And then he ate the other 2 tacos, like the ravenous, hungry soul he is. And Miguel is proof that only the soul that ventilates the world with tenderness has any chance of changing the world. God is in every kindness. Miguel knows the tender gravity of kindness, as poet Naomi Nye writes, and he also knows how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness. And so we gather here these 2 days because we believe in the revolution of tenderness. We want to be together what the world is called to become ultimately. And so in these days and in our lives, we choose to be kind and loving in the world. And we are confident that the world will return the faith. Randy, lead us in prayer.
Everyone, please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, I come to you today, and I want to thank you for blessing each and every one of us in this room this morning. Father God, continue to watch over us and keep